We have passed the 201,000 subscriber mark. Thank you all so much. 201.5 is the next goal in mind. Help us get there, ideally before kickoff of Sunday's game. Free Cowboys videos each and every single day right here on the channel, oftentimes multiple per day, so don't miss out. Subscribe for free. Let's talk injury updates here. We're going to begin with the big one, that's Dak Prescott, and this is by no means a good one, to be clear. Dak has the fancy medical term from people who chose to spend extra years in college, and not people who had to spend extra years in college, is partial avulsion of his right hamstring, which the normal person term is part of the tendon has been tore off the bone, which isn't good. Of note, I saw him like, that sounds familiar. I remember what it was now. Tyron Smith had a full avulsion injury back in 2022. He did that in August, kind of at the end of training camp, going into week 1. He did not return until week 13 of the NFL season. Smith needed surgery to repair that. Unclear if Dak Prescott ends up needing surgery to repair that or not. If he does need surgery, it's over. It maybe should already be over as we get to here in a second. That's a season-ending injury. If it had happened week 1, it probably wouldn't be a season-ending injury. But now that you're already deep into the year, you're already into week 10, if you do go down that path, it's not going to work out. It's going to end up being a season ender. If he doesn't need the surgery, there is that outside chance of, hey, maybe it's more like 6 or 8 weeks, and if you're still alive, he could come back and return. But whether the surgery is the case or not, and it seems like Dak's trying to find additional options to not go down that path, which doesn't surprise me. This is where you as an organization need to put the long-term stuff in front of the short-term stuff. And this is where, frankly, you need to protect your quarterback from himself. Because I know how Dak Prescott operates. Remember when he had the weird shoulder injury coming back from the broken ankle? Yeah, he kept throwing a football when he probably shouldn't have been. And he couldn't throw it normally, so he threw a tennis ball into his couch over and over and over, and a football into his couch because he just couldn't not do stuff. And that led to the wear and tear baseball-style injury because turns out when you're throwing like this, it looks a lot more like a baseball motion. And that's what happened. Trying to rush this injury back seems, and I think very much is, stupid. Don't go down that path. Play it smart. I know you haven't been a smart organization as of late, but let's face reality of the 2024 campaign. It's not going well. This is where you got to be the bigger person for this analogy and say, Dak, just get healthy. It's okay. It's not your fault. Don't let the competitor potentially cause more issues to his own body. So will Dak Prescott play again this season? Y for yes, N for no. It is the pinned comment on today's show, so if the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. Now, you're not going to see Dak this week, the next couple weeks. Tight turnaround for the 5th game again on Thanksgiving, which also seems, or 4th game, which seems super unlikely as well. Look, you're going to see Cooper Rush, and I hope you see Trey Lance too. Yeah, we'll spend a lot more time on this on a future video coming up here in a little bit. I don't really see many downsides to playing Trey Lance. Like, if you were 5-3, maybe this would be a different conversation. If you were playing at a super high level and your quarterback looked like the 2023 version and not the guy we've seen so far this year, and your defense wasn't also decimated, it would probably make more sense just to try to weather the storm with Cooper Rush, who I think does do a good job of weathering the storm. He's now coming into a situation where the boat has already capsized. There's only so much you can do at that point as a backup QB. You might as well go with the mystery box idea and see what Trey Lance has for you. But that's more in depth for a future time. We got more injury stuff to discuss here in a second. But today's show is made possible by Game Time. Game Time is the place for any and all last-minute tickets to your next big event. Game Time is a new feature. It's called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to your favorite team's play live even easier. It filters out the fluff to only show you the best deals on the great seats. So don't waste time searching through all those different tickets. It is simply curation designed to save you even more on sports, concerts, comedy, theater, etc. You can use the all-in pricing feature to see your total cost up front, so there are no surprise hidden fees at checkout. You can get the game time guarantee on all tickets. Of course, it's natural. Game time guarantee is this. You get 110% of the difference if you find tickets in the same section and row for less. So download the Game Time app, create your account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. But again, create your account over at GameTime.co. Use code CHATSPORTS, ChatSports, for $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's game time. Cowboys injuries I want to look at here. These have been the guys that are on the injury reports. We won't spend much time here on Nick Vigil, Eric Kendricks. Those guys have missed early practices, played. Trayvon Diggs heading in the proper direction. I think Tyler Guyton will be okay. We'll spend some time on the offensive line. We obviously mentioned Dak Prescott. Wanye Thomas in concussion protocol seems very, very unlikely on that front. The good news here, then more bad news. We'll do the bad news sandwich today. Does sound like Micah Parsons is trending towards a return, barring, knock on wood, a setback today. After he missed 4 games with a high ankle sprain, it seems like he's going to be able to make that return and be out there for the Cowboys. And as this coaching staff and players involved, they don't want to quit on the season quite yet, and it's up to the coaching staff to make sure that does not happen. This is somebody you need out there on defense. You've missed a lot of your best players on defense this year. Micah's certainly one of them. You need him back out there. You also would like to get DaRon Bland back out on the football field. I don't know when that's going to happen. He is still not back at practice. Continues to work with the rehab side of things in the open available media sessions. That's bad because we are now about to be a month removed from the last time DaRon Bland actually practiced. Look, Stephen Jones had said there was a setback. He said it was just soreness. I clearly think it was worse than that. And when they activated DaRon Bland and put Oruwari on IR with his back injury, it was very much a, okay, cool, he's back. And then, like, okay, but wait, is he going to practice? And then, no, it was not. He's not practicing. And it felt like he wasn't going to be back in Week 9. At this point, he's not going to be back in Week 10, it feels like. But he would be back at some points this year, which, when that is, I don't know. And the longer it goes, you kind of get right back in the Dak conversation. Is it even worth it to bring him back at that point? Or do you just chalk it up to a lost season and write it off? So predictions. What week will DaRon Bland return? Let me know in the comments section of today's show. What week, if any, you can do 2025 if you want, you think DaRon Bland will return. I also want to spend some time on Zack Martin. And I don't like the way this is going. It's been kind of clear on the field that Zack Martin is not the same player he once was. Age, injuries, both kind of combining here. His shoulder is now, but it was the back earlier this year. It's been the shoulder the past 2 weeks. He didn't practice on Wednesday. Wasn't out there with the media group on Thursday. They did go inside, so, chances he can do some more stuff Thursday, Friday, etc. But he's just not been the same this year. He's like 5 pressures away from allowing the most in his NFL career, and we're only just now getting to Week 10. This is not the same Zack Martin. And we are very much, as badly as it pains me here, we are very much getting into the, okay, when is it time? The season is already kind of being old yellered, so to speak. But when is it time to say, Zach, we love you, but hey, it's time. It's time. I think that I do typically subscribe to the theory of once you, especially for like a trench player, once you start considering retirement, you start talking about retirement, it's probably when it's time because it's a physical game. Is this Zack Martin's last season? 0 for yes, no more years after this. 1 for no, he'll do at least one more season. Vote in the comments of today's show. If it is an injury that prevents Martin from playing, I would at some point this season, and I don't know if you can bench Zack Martin because it's Zack Martin. Like, can you really do that? He's a Hall of Famer. Like, maybe you can have an injury to give him some breather late in the year. I don't know. I would like to see TJ Bass play because I do think in general when it comes to this offensive line and where you're at realistically this season, you need to get your guys into the spots you want them to play next year, which, based on their own actions, is the left side of your line through BB at center. And I want to see if TJ Bass can be a right guard option for you. It'd be a silver lining outcome if you were able to see TJ Bass get a handful of starts even this year and have a better feel for what you have in him at right guard. Now, I think your offensive line coach sucks. And I don't think it's an accident that for several of your players, they looked good at training camp when they were more closely working with Duke Manyweather. And then as they get further away from that and more into the Solari stuff, they suddenly look worse. I don't think that's a coinkydink. But I would like to see Bass get some reps and know if I desperately need a right guard or if I can try Bass for a season at right guard, or if I need a veteran stopgap, or if I need to spend a day 3 or early or late day 2 pick.